Hey guys, so this is part 2 of a video that I didn't want to just put all in one video. I don't watch long videos, so if I'm like, I wouldn't watch it, I just won't make one that I wouldn't watch. This is part 2 of that intuition video I just put out yesterday, and it's basically just continue talking. So we're gonna follow up with what I was talking about with intuition, and it's actually going to run into a manifestation series. So this is gonna be another video after it as a series in this. Just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. I was kind of all over the place when I was filming. I hadn't filmed in, I think it's been like a week and a half since I've been on camera filming. What I want to let you guys know is I definitely know what I'm talking about. Instead of spending time on YouTube when I learned about manifesting and how to truly control my reality, I began controlling my reality and that required all of my focus. Now things have been realigned in a way that allows me to focus on this and still create the reality that I want, which is a big part of these videos. So I thank you all for being here, and I hope that you enjoy this really random, kind of all over the place. We'll probably get back into order, maybe with the next video series. Your intuition will tell you things. Sometimes that bitch will lie to you. I'm going to give you guys a few examples leading into where we are right now. January 2020. I was sitting in my brand new penthouse apartment. It was the newest building in downtown where I live. It was an apartment that I literally manifested within less than a year. And I was able to manifest it because I walked to my tanning salon every day, because this happens with my face, my life. The tanning lotion isn't working. So I would walk by South Block every day because I lived there, but I lived on the other side in a studio. And it was actually a really cute, it was like a half studio, like it had a little half wall, so it was technically like a 1-bedroom. But let me just find the picture really quick. So I lived on this side of the apartments, you guys can see. Alright? Shout out to South Block. The apartment that I wanted to live on was right there. Right there, okay? So as you can see, it was on this end right here. You can't really see it yet. I'm walking back from my tanning salon, and the apartments that I ended up getting were right there. So there I am walking. That top apartment, if you guys can see it. This top apartment right here, last one, is literally the best view of the entire building. And when I first saw that building, I saw that apartment and I saw that balcony, and I was like, oh my god, just smoke a blunt up there. That would just be heavenly. It just made me giddy with excitement thinking about it. I'm an Oregonian, leave me alone, guys. So there I am. I'm literally walking. Beautiful, isn't it? That was my front yard. And see me literally zooming in. Oh, shout out to Chiquita. So let me see. So this is where I used to smoke outside because there were non-smoking buildings, okay? This is this is where the courtyard was for all of the people that live there. And you can see the view of, wait, let me get back. Let me get it so I can show you. So see the bridge? You see that view? This was 41 weeks ago, okay? So that was 41 weeks ago. This one is 25 weeks ago at that tall balcony. Yeah. I blew my own mind. I was like, bitch, did you just manifest your dream place? So, as you can see, I mean, you had the state capitol. You could see everything. It was kind of a gloomy day in Oregon, but I don't care. It was the most, I mean, if you're going to be here, this is the type of place. And then you saw the bridge. And you could see the people at the park. I mean, that was my view. And it was my literal dream home. I live alone, single. I've been single for a long time. This was what it looked like from my bedroom. Vaulted ceilings, all of that, right? That was 9 weeks ago. I moved into that place in October. I moved into South Block in November of 2018. And I manifested that getting into that place because, like, they were the newest places in town and they were waitlisted because this was the first place in this town that had what would be compared to something in Las Vegas. And that was the only reason that I stayed here and even considered the place because I had come home from California and I was like, this town's just, they don't accept me. You know, I was in the adult industry. Everybody knew who I was and I just didn't want to deal with it. And they never treated me any differently. They treated me like a human. And I actually became really good friends with all the girls in the office. I think it was because I always had crazy stories. I just went in like, hey guys, guess what happened? They were really wonderful people. And I went there because it was a community. I had just gotten into that place in October. And right after the first, I was like, what's that intuition? You want me to get out of my lease of my penthouse apartment and buy a school bus and build it into a tiny home? What? Okay. And it was like, as soon as that perspective hit, that was the shit that I needed to be like, I can leave this place because I'm going to have way better views. This place is cool, but I had honestly begun to feel like a bird cage to me, like a really beautiful bird cage with a tall ceilings kind of thing. But a lot of people knew where I lived because I took so many pictures, and it got to me where there would be really weird cars parked outside my house at weird times, and it made me really uncomfortable. And so I just was already kind of about the place because I was single, and you know, hear about human trafficking and how they'll sit outside the people's houses for weeks on end. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I don't know, I heard that, and then I started seeing these cars and I was, I'm single, maybe they were watching me walk from being tanning, and it happens in small towns and whoop-de-whoop, and we're close to California, and it was just, it compiled into a lot of conditioned fear response. So when that perspective shift happened, I was like, and just looked at my house, I'm leaving you. I manifested you in 9 months. Yeah, I really did. And I assumed it was like a big 3-bedroom place. I assumed that there was no way that that was a 1-bedroom. I had a studio. I wasn't going to ever go up to a 2-bedroom. I don't need that much room, but a 1-bedroom I was definitely open to. And I didn't in a million years think that it was a 1-bedroom. So that manifestation power and the visualization behind it, and me visually walking by that every single day and looking up at that balcony, I visualized myself. Literally, I just sat up there like, smoking a blunt up there would be great. The sunsets and shit are probably bitchin'. I would see the full moon. There are so many reasons I could sit out there, and I did. When I first got out there, the first thing I did was I sat there, I smoked a blunt, and then I sat there and I meditated, and it was just, it was a fucking dream. You know? And that's the beauty about this life, is that we always have the choice to see things how we want to see them. And I really, really am proud of myself. It was beautiful, it was wonderful, but it got to a point where I really did feel like I was caged in. And it felt just so diminishing to my soul. And it stomped who I was. It just stomped who I was out. And that isn't something that I think anybody should experience. So the reason I'm telling you guys this is that there's a lot going on right now. And the best way to handle it is to visualize the outcome you want. And me showing you those videos was me visually showing you, this is where I was. I didn't have a balcony. It was a studio. I moved into the best apartment they had. What? Oh, both times I signed a lease without seeing the place. Yeah, when I'm all in, I'm all in. So, and I always follow spirit, and my spirit literally just kind of walked me in. They said, hey, Lindsay, we have that 5th floor balcony place we were telling you about. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. I was actually thinking about getting out of my lease, but it's because I don't like the studio I'm in. I lied to myself very well for a year. I really did. I wasn't until my new place, and I was like, wow, I really hated my other place. And I just lied to myself. I really did. I made it as beautiful as I could, but it wasn't me. I just didn't like it. So when I moved into my new place, it was like, the ceilings are really tall, and that scares the fuck out of me. But I love it. And I made it mine very quickly. And I had it from October until January, well, February 1st, technically. So, yeah, I got out of my lease probably, I think I called the office. This is how good of an apartment it was, okay? I called the office and said, hey guys, I don't know what's happening. They knew I do tarot and stuff on another channel. Put that channel up there for you guys. And they knew about my intuition aspect of things. And I said, talk to my spirit today. I need to get out of the lease. And they're like, what? You just signed the lease. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm gonna buy a bus. I was able to get out of my lease within 12 hours of talking to the office because, ironically enough, I accidentally almost walked into his house. I was tired. I was on the 3rd floor. I was moving up to the 5th floor. I was going back and forth and back and forth, and I realized that I was about to walk into someone's house on the 3rd floor, which was the same apartment on the 5th floor that I was moving into. And so I realized what I was doing really quick. Yeah, like a fucking champion. I pulled everything away from the door really quick, and everything fell fell off of it, right? Right in front of homie's door. I'm rushing to pick everything up. He didn't come out. He wasn't home, it turned out. So by the time that next trip, I'm coming down and I see him going into his place. And I go, oh, hey guy, I'm really sorry about almost walking into your house earlier. And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm moving and I'm blonde. At the time, I actually was blonde. And I was tired after like the 95th trip. And I almost walked into your house thinking it was mine on the 5th floor that I'm moving into. And he was like, oh, you're moving? Do you need help? You know, like, did you walk into my house or anything? Just like, do you need help? And it was so blessed the way this came out because I'm single. I live alone. My bed was a queen bed and I had no help. I'm talking like your girl I carried a mirror that weighed as much as I did up 2 flights of stairs. I was like, I could do it. But because the mirror was so big, I was literally able to just like set it down and like put my whole body weight on it. And it like didn't break or anything. It was that big. So I finally got that up there. And I literally said out loud, okay, Spirit, I don't care how that bed gets up there. All I know is y'all gonna take care of that so that I have a bed tonight and I'm not sleeping in this apartment with nothing on the walls and very scary. So when he asked, are you moving? Do you need help with anything? I said, this is so crazy, but I actually do need help with the bed. I'm alone and I don't have anyone that can help me. I have no one I can call to help me. Can you maybe help me with my bed? He said, yeah, no problem. So we hooked my bed up and we were talking the whole time. He's a Capricorn. Shout out to the Capricorns out there. Anyway, awesome story. The resident that ended up deciding to take over my new lease was the guy that ended up helping me move my bed in. It was almost like some sort of good karma exchange, right? Like he just wanted a better place and he didn't like where he was at, and he definitely got a better place because it's higher ceilings and it's more private and there's no neighbors. It was just the perfect place. And I knew when I left that I would really need to manifest, like be really focused. I could get it back anytime I wanted. But at the time I was like, oh, it'd be so hard to get back, not realizing how easy it was for me to manifest it in the first place. So with that being said, I'll probably manifest something better whenever I decide to move on from here. So manifesting that was really, really a beautiful alignment for me, and it didn't require anything other than me listening to my intuition. When my intuition said to jump, I jumped. When Jiminy Cricket told me to jump, I jumped. Think of your intuition as Jiminy. And I didn't ever have a problem with fighting against the grain. If I'm being honest, I think my higher self, my guides, my ancestors, when I say they, like, no, I'm not talking about like the personalities. I'm not multiple personality, I swear. It might seem like it, because I got a lot of ancestors up there. But, yeah, I was being pushed to be moved out like a month before, and it wasn't sticking. Everything I was being shown was like, nah, I like it here better. And it wasn't until that school bus thing came along that I was like, yeah, that applies. So, the whole reason I'm telling you this story is because right now is a time that intuition is really, really important. It's a time where you are being called to action, to step into that alignment. And the reason that I was telling you guys about this is because what happened after that was even better, and I'm gonna save that for the next video. We'll call it Manifestation Stories Following My Bliss, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, everybody's talking about manifestation now, like who really knows what they're doing? Well, your girl has manifested everything she's ever wanted in her entire life, got there and went, well, fuck, I didn't think of things big enough. Straight up, when you get to that point on the other spectrum, is if you manifest it in a way that isn't in alignment with your intuition, your higher self, you as the source creator, you will find a way to self-sabotage that. And if you're like me, you will spend years blaming people outside of yourself instead of doing that inner work. And that's why I'm doing these videos right now, especially because we will never get this time again. We will never get a time like this on Earth again. I mean, it's not planned. They don't plan to press pause on the entire Earth. If you think about it, every single person, with the exception of, I would say 1% of the humans right now are outside. The rest of us are inside. That's crazy. I think it was Boho Beautiful that pointed that out. And I wanted to pass that on. If you guys are doing your yoga with them, you'll be able to see that. But it's a really special time. And I just implore you to look within before looking for what you may be without. Mainly because that focus gains momentum. And then you begin to fall into conditioned fear responses. And those don't feel good. And then those perpetuate more feelings of that fear and bring more of that. So if I can suggest anything to you, it is to listen to that inkling that you get to just randomly get up and make some cookies. That's your soul, okay? It's not like you're in your inner fatty or whatever. That's your soul. Your soul wants some fucking cookies. And not only your soul, your inner child. And that's really special. It's really special to know that you get an inkling for chocolate chip cookies and it came out of nowhere. That's a connection to your inner soul and you want to nourish that. A lot of us have wounded inner children. And I'm going to be touching on that so much more, as that's what I am offering to my clients. At first I was focusing on manifestation, but I'm realizing that so many people are running into the problem of not understanding themselves, so they can't possibly focus on what they want, and without knowing what they want, you cannot manifest. You have to be able to visually see in your mind's eye what you want. And if you do not know how to decipher that, you will risk manifesting anything that you don't want, because that vibration and that knowing of not wanting it is so much more felt and comfortable to you that it's something that is easy to do, and that's what you'll end up manifesting. And I get it, it's really great. People want to get paid, people want to help people manifest their best lives, but there comes a time when you need to address the inner issues and not just take others' money because they don't do the inner work. How many of them know that there's inner work that needs to be done? How many out there are actually saying, this has nothing to do with your car payment. This has nothing to do with the virus. This has nothing to do with your boyfriend. This has nothing to do with the pool or not being able to go out. And this has everything to do with whatever traumas are within you that you are healing and that are rearing their ugly little heads. And we're going to get into that more in the next video. But for today, your affirmation needs to be something that's going to remind you to hold momentum in what you do want and to focus on what you do want. And if you don't think that you have the power to manifest, test that power with something smaller. Manifest a butterfly. Manifest a donut. Manifest a 25-cent piece on the ground. And I don't know why I said a 25-cent piece instead of a quarter, so that's a confirmation for somebody that's going to be watching this later on. Your affirmation today is going to be, I release all conditioned fear responses. I release all conditioned fear responses. And remember that a lot of the fear that you are feeling is conditioned, and that if you can take control of what it is that is causing you to fall back into those conditionings, you will be able to shift everything and then step into a place, a new version that will allow you to actually manifest what you want. If you're going out trying to manifest everything, scripting and scripting and scripting, but you have that underlying trauma, it will make manifesting close to impossible, and you'll continue to tell everyone around you that it doesn't work. Alright guys, this is Lindsay with Clarity Couture. Don't forget that your body is a vehicle for your soul, so be sure to drive yourselves well, especially now. Namaste, my friends. Oh, and if you like this video, please click subscribe and click like. Thank you.